Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Rosewood Academy. This is the November session. Today we have someone that has done it quite a few times, has done it already earlier this year, and has done it in person back in 2022, I believe, or 2023, Dr. Hancock. So let's move into it. So we always start with our why, and our why is to multiply the blessings, opportunities that have been placed into our trust. And then we go on to the topics this year and the themes. We wrapped up 3 themes already, and going into last month, we started into Q3 or Q4. Today, we're going to be talking about employee well-being initiatives, and that's going to be a good one, especially in the Q4 when everything's a little spiked up, pressure, stress, holidays, work, families, and everything like that. So it'd be a good session with Dr. Hancock. As always, we have all the videos for Q1, Q2, Q3 on YouTube. We have those links. We also sent out an email campaign that shows the last 3 that we've done. So if you miss any of those, please look back in that email, submit your questions at the end of it when you rewatch it, and we'll put you to half credit. As always, we are always trying to achieve all these 12. So if you complete the 12, we have a certificate as well as some prizes going out at the end of the year. So we got one more before we wrap it up. But no further ado, I'll let Dr. Kendra Hancock take over.
Hey everyone, it's so good to see you and to be with you guys again today. I'm going to be talking about finding a balance between work and personal life that can help your overall well-being. So we're going to start off with just getting in the right mindset right now. So we're going to do a little bit of a guided breathing exercise. So if everyone can just focus with me for a second, you can feel free to close your eyes and just listen for when I cue you to breathe in, to hold it, and then to exhale and to hold it again. So let's start by inhale, hold it, exhale, hold it, inhale, hold it, exhale, hold it, inhale, hold it, exhale, hold it. Okay, you can open your eyes. This is what we like to call box breathing. It's something that if you're feeling a little bit stressed out or overwhelmed at work, it's very easy to do. And it just helps you kind of refocus where you may need to be. If you need to calm down and recenter yourself, box breathing can be done individually or in a small group. And then I want to show you one more other breathing exercises. So I want you to put your middle fingers down and give your thumb and your pinky finger, and you're going to close your right nostril with your thumb, and you're going to inhale on your left side. And then close it and hold it. Then you're going to release your right nostril and exhale. And then inhale on your right nostril. Close it, hold it. Release your left nostril, exhale. Inhale on your left nostril. Close it, hold it. Release your right nostril, exhale. I'm going to guide you through another one. So inhale, close it, hold it. Exhale on your left. Okay, you can release your hands and come down. Again, nostril breathing just opens up everything on both sides. If you're into the mindfulness, the different sides promote different qualities and characteristics. You're welcoming different things in for the day, but having a good balance of both, it releases creativity and as well as allows you to focus. So two little exercises to help you focus and to welcome creativity in the workplace. We can go on to the next slide, Antonio. Okay, so what is work-life balance? It is exactly that, helping you find a healthy balance to maintain your work, professional life and your personal life. So it's just overall helping with your productivity and your performance at work while maintaining quality relationships with your family and friends and feeling like you're truly happy in both areas when you're in both areas. When people feel like work is something that they enjoy doing, that they want to come to, it's not just a chore or a to-do list, they're going to work harder, they're going to make fewer mistakes, and become more advocates for the place of business, for the company that they're in. I know that you all love your work and that you love what you do. It's very evident in wanting to become better and to do these leadership life and professional development opportunities throughout the year. Go ahead, Antonia. So, how can we improve our work-life balance? As managers and leaders of your teams, you can encourage time off for your employees and encourage time breaks throughout the day. Model those breaks throughout the day by walking around and checking in on your team. How are things going? If you know someone had a stressful presentation or an important deadline to meet, maybe check in with them periodically to make sure that they're feeling strong and comfortable with that performance. Also, ask employees for feedback. How are we doing with work-life balance? Are you feeling like you have enough work-life balance in your life? Do you feel like we give you adequate breaks throughout the day? Are you taking enough time off? And when you are off, are you truly embracing that time off and living in that present moment? And then as leaders, we want to make sure that we're modeling that for our employees by taking those breaks throughout the day, by taking some time off and encouraging like truly disconnecting when we're off from work. Okay, go ahead, Antonia. Um, and work-life balance is very important because there's going to be fewer health problems, which leads to fewer absences in the workplace, fewer mistakes, more engagement. So you're going to be happier in the workplace. You're going to be able to collaborate with more people. Just going to be overall happier with your performance. Less burnout, which means less hiring and turnover, and then more mindfulness overall in the workplace and at home. So one of those to start off is the fewer health concerns. When we are overwhelmed, we're stressed out, it can lead to just mentally and physically just overwhelming us, which can lead to sickness like flu, a common cold, or even greater problems like a heart attack or stroke. And we don't want any of our employees to lead to a serious health or respiratory problem when we know that we can create this work-life balance and have just a truly more meaningful experience. Go ahead, Antonio. So I want you guys to take a look at the wellness wheel. How are your wellness habits in each area right now? Do you feel like you might have a balanced wellness wheel? And you guys can respond. So you can raise your hand, you can chime in, you can chat. Are some areas taking up more time than others? Go ahead. I think someone was gonna answer. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Dr. Hancock, that I don't know if the word balance is it's probably the best word. Maybe integration or harmony, but I can definitely say that I am not equal in all of those pie pieces.
Okay. But you feel like you have a little bit of something going on for each one? Maybe.
No, no, I honestly, I can't say I have something in all of them. I think some are at 0, some are at
Okay.
10.
Okay. Thank you for sharing and being honest. What areas might need some attention? And anyone, again, can chime in if you'd like to, you feel comfortable.
I think the two most challenging are probably for some spiritual isn't as challenging as others, but environmental. Can you give a little bit more about the environmental wedge?
Yeah, so there it could be taken in multiple ways. So one is getting outside, maybe taking a hike or a walk in nature, or helping preserve cleanup. So maybe it's an organized community service day where you guys are out there, helping pick up trash or beautifying something. Maybe you're planting trees or flowers around the building, something of that. So it could be taken either way. Feel like there was a few in the chat. Environmental, physical. Okay, I hear you guys. So there's a few things, and I'm going to give you some tips that you can do in the workplace and at home a little bit later in the presentation that might be able to help you integrate some of this work-life balance and to maybe work on our wellness wheel to have a little bit more integration, as Scott said. So we can go on to the next slide, Antonio. Thank you all for participating. So increased employee engagement just increases productivity overall. People like to take ownership of their work and they feel more comfortable and feel valued when they're being productive and they're producing within the workplace. It helps with better retention rates, so that reduces turnover and the costs associated with hiring new employees. Then you have seasoned employees that are going to be more beneficial to the company as well, which is going to help with creating greater profits, customer satisfaction, and increased loyalty with our clients and the people that we're working with on a daily basis, as well as that innovation, encouraging creativity and teamwork and collaboration within our community as well. And so people are feeling better about working with different people on projects and taking the lead on different things, as well as improve safety in the workplace. People are going to know what the protocols are, what the procedures are, and there may be less accidents within the workplace or fewer mistakes happening, and just overall better work environment. And then if you can see here, employee engagement, and when we're truly engaged in our workplace, we have better relationships with our coworkers. We understand what's expected of us. There is going to be recognition and feedback involved with that, as well as opportunities for growth. We feel like we'll have that work-life balance. It's going to align with our values. I saw that culture alignment and values was coming up as the next leadership live. So this just will be a good segue into that, as well as creating some of that autonomy and empowerment of our employees. We want to feel like we're connected, that we are empowered to be able to do our jobs and to perform it at a high level. And we're just going to be overall better employees and more engaged. So another thing, obviously, is avoiding burnout. We don't want to feel a burnout. We don't want to feel burnt out as employees or as managers and leaders, because when we feel overwhelmed and there's different demands on our plate, it can lead to different negative aspects in our life. Again, that can lead to sickness, that can lead to heart attack or stroke, like major health problems down the road. And then it also carries over into into our personal life. So if we're taking home a lot of projects, a lot of stress, then we're taking that home to our family and our friends. And that's not good either, because we don't want to go home and we don't want to be a negative influence on our family and friends. We want to be able to go home and be a positive and be present in our lives of our family and our friends too. So we want to be able to, again, feel like we can manage our work when we're at work and be able to truly connect and be engaged when we're at home as well. Then creating more mindfulness again. So mindfulness is a type of meditation which helps with focus. It makes you extremely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in that given moment without interruption or judgment. And so I don't know exactly how you guys felt at the beginning when we did some of that guided breathing exercise, but it was to try to help you focus and to be engaged in the present moment. And so if you need to take that time throughout the day to create that mindful moment, do it. Or if you feel like you see a coworker that is feeling a little overwhelmed and may need to take a couple of breaths, maybe you set them down in your office, you close the door and you're like, okay, we're going to do some of this guided breathing together and we're going to refocus and then we'll tackle the task together or create the most important priority to-do list together. Because again, it's just going to help you be able to concentrate and focus in and hone on what really needs to be done in that moment. Okay, Antonia? So there are several benefits that can be associated with mindfulness, and mindfulness can be done at home or in the workplace, and it's just going to overall improve your sleep, relieve anxiety, increase empathy, improve your own self-esteem, reduce stress, improve your mood and energy, your awareness. It can reduce depression and boost your focus. So anything that you can do to help increase your own mindfulness and the mindfulness of others is just going to help, again, create that positive workplace culture and to help you be more engaged and to hopefully help lead to a better work-life balance and be engaged in the present moment wherever you're at, whether in the workplace or at home. So here are some practical steps that you can take in the workplace. Be realistic with your workloads and your deadlines. So set manageable and realistic goals that you feel good that you're checking off that to-do list. You feel like you have a sense of accomplishment and control when you can check off those to-do lists and you know which ones you can prioritize and what needs to be done based on, important projects that may be coming up. If you can break those down into smaller tasks, that's going to help you be more efficient with your time at work. And then give yourself some rewards as you're completing some of those. Maybe it is taking that short little break and you're walking around the office checking in with other people. Maybe it's going and getting your favorite coffee and treating some coworkers to coffee as you complete some of those minor or major tasks at work. Flexibility. We all know with COVID, there have been options to have some flexibility to maybe work from home one day a week. Or if you know you have a doctor's appointment, say, do you think that it'd be okay if I come in after lunch? I'll work from home, check my emails, get some things on the calendar, and then I'll come in after lunch. And so just asking for some of that flexibility in the workplace and feeling comfortable with asking your manager or leader, or suggesting that if you are the manager or leader, if you know that they have a busy morning with their kids, or if they want to, leave early to be able to go watch their program at school or a game, encouraging some of that flexibility time as well. Encourage and take those short breaks throughout the day. It can help you clear your head. It can help you refocus. It can, just getting up and walking around just helps you overall too. Communicate as well. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you need to close your door to focus in, to hone in on that project, tell your boss, tell your coworkers to be like, I love you, but right now I got to shut my door and I've got to get this done. So respect my boundaries and being able to focus in and hone in on this project right now. Just being honest and communicating effectively with them. And then remind yourself to give yourself grace. No one in this world is perfect, and there's always going to be more tasks to be done. So give yourself grace. If it takes you a couple of days longer than you anticipated and you're going to do it well, then give yourself that time. Um, it's okay. We're human, and we need to make sure that we're producing the best and being the best versions of ourselves on a daily basis. So make sure that you're giving yourself grace when needed in the workplace and at home. And now we'll go into some practical steps you can take at home. Unplug. We know we love technology, but it's okay to leave your computer at work or leave your phone on silent when you're at home with your family and your friends. Truly be present in that moment. It's very important to take that time for you when you are at home. And that could be, leaving your computer at work when you go home for the weekend and just disconnecting for the whole weekend. One thing that I really value about Dr. Fabara is sometimes most of the time, he leaves his computer at work and he just walks out with his phone and his keys and gets in his car. And I am just like amazed at that. I've tried to take a few steps to be able to do that. So some nights I will leave my computer here and I will go home and just, do my workout or just eat dinner with friends or whatever it may be. It's okay to be unplugged, whether it's a night or a weekend or when you're taking that time off for yourself. Don't overcommit.
Dr. Hancock, it's not as easy when you have O365 and you can get on it from any computer.
Oh, I know it's not as easy, but that's why you got to be intentional about it, Scott. It is definitely not easy, and it's so hard to not want to respond to that email because you're probably like me and you don't like those notifications on your phone. And I've learned to be like, it's okay to leave those notifications for the weekend and respond on Monday in the order that they came in. And then it's important to try to teach yourself, like I'm trying to teach my students that too. Like, I'm not always going to answer you on the weekend because that's my time at home with my family and friends away from the university, but I will respond to you on Monday when I get back in the office. And then find your tribe. Figure out who your people are at home that you really connect with, whether that's your friends that you're going out with for trivia or music bingo, or your workout class that you're committed to going to, whether that's a spinning class or a run walk group that you're participating in. Figure out who your people are and stay committed to those few things each week to help you with that work-life balance as well. Take advantage of all the employee assistance program benefits. Look at the recommendations for different doctors in-house, for different things. You may realize that you might be able to go to the chiropractor or get a massage with your employee assistance program. So those may be things that are available to you that you may not even know about. So ask HR if you're not aware of what all of those benefits may be. Of course, I'm a proponent of being active. So again, get out, get active, whether that's taking a hike, going for a walk, doing that exercise or spin class, whatever it is, making healthy choices. Maybe we choose that salad instead of that burger. Maybe we're getting into routine of having our smoothie in the morning, our salad for lunch, and chicken and veggies for dinner during the work week, so that on the weekend we can enjoy our pizza or our burger. But make those healthy, conscious decisions as well. Treat your body good. And then don't be afraid to ask for help. If you need to schedule a mental health or a counseling appointment, use those resources that you have available through your work connections, through the employee assistance program, through the referrals. Like, it's okay to ask for help. We are not superhumans, and we don't have to expect ourselves to be superhuman all the time. Okay, we can go on to the next slide, Antonio.
Also, just to make a comment, there's also a program I just found out not too long ago. I know Brent's been using it, but Anna Claire's been using this a lot. She told me about a program that our human resources benefits has together, and it's a gym membership. And it was I think you can get a prorated gym membership through Active Life or something like that. Some program through United. So yeah, anybody out there who got gym membership, You could probably drop it down a couple bucks by looking to see if there are in that sector, I guess, for that discount. But yeah, that's also another benefit that we have.
And that's a great opportunity. Please take advantage of that, guys. And then remember to take time for yourself. It isn't so important. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So take time for yourself, whether that is going for a coffee, checking in with your family and friends, sending a text of gratitude, meditating, doing that walk or run at lunchtime, taking part in yoga or Pilates. Recently, I've become certified yoga instructor, and I did not realize how much yoga has improved my physical overall being, but it's impacted my running in a positive way. So take that time for yourself. If you want to go get your hair done or your nails done, go for a haircut, guys. Whatever it may be, unleash your creativity side. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep at night. So that may be setting a bedtime reminder for yourself to get that 7 hours if that's what you truly need to function. So please, please, please making sure that you're taking time for yourself. And here are different ways in areas physical, emotional, social, spiritual, and psychological that you can practically do. So you can look at those and feel like if you want to take time, and make sure that you're taking time for yourself as well. That's all that I have for you today. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, comments? Let's talk.
So Dr. Hancock, go back to the last slide, Antonio.
Mhm.
It doesn't match your wheel.
It doesn't match my wheel, but this is particularly with self-care. So this is just what you can do for yourself. Whereas the wellness wheel is not just yourself, but other things as well. So like the environmental impact as well, and your financial piece. So that may be like, how are you handling your investments, or how are you spending your money and things like that. But this is related to you specifically, whereas that may impact your loved ones or nature in itself too. So I apologize for them not lining up, but these are some practical examples of self-care for you.
Now, along those same lines, I mentioned earlier about whether we use the word balance or integration or harmony. It doesn't have to be equal. I guess it's a question. Does it have to be equal? Because what works for me, as far as if we were to take your wheel and turn it into a spider diagram and say, hey, look, I'm okay with being a 2 on environmental, provided that I'm on a 5 on social or something of that nature. I think we all have to find our own balance from a standpoint of what we accept in each of those areas. And if it's acceptable to us, then it works for us. It's not that mine should match yours or vice versa.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's about finding what works for you and feeling comfortable with that.
So if that were the case, if we now have this individual freedom, what are the things that we should be looking out for, those little triggers that say, maybe you're feeling the way you're feeling because of that imbalance in that one area? Is it just that feeling of tiredness? Is it the feeling of frustration? What are some of those signals that we need to take a look at the wellness wheel and say whether or not we need to adjust in one area or the other?
I think you'll kind of figure out what your own triggers are, and some of those may be feeling like overwhelmed or anxious or tired. And then you're like, why am I feeling a little bit of out of balance? And maybe that's the time where you do some of that self-reflection and saying, what's missing? Or maybe it's not what's missing, but why am I feeling so overwhelmed? What can I take off my plate to feel like I'm more balanced, that I'm feeling a better state in the workplace or at home too, and making sure that you're being truly present in the moment that you're in too, and that you're not carrying too much of that burden to one place or the other either.
Right. And this subject ties in some of the others that we've had on Leadership Live. because you use the good example about leaving your PC at work or waiting to respond to that email. But what's important is what are the expectations and what are the examples that others are exhibiting. So if I'm getting pinged on the weekend, every couple of hours by Chandler, for example, then if he's sending me an email on the weekend, I think he thinks he wants me to respond, which may or may not be the case. He may be just clearing out his inbox, and that seems to be the time that was available to him. So I think there's definitely a dialogue that goes along on what the accepted or expected, probably a better word, levels of performance are, especially after hours and on the weekends. Because I wouldn't base it off of what I do, because people would think they're insane. So.
And maybe make sure that you guys are communicating that with your staff as well, and being like, we don't expect you to respond on the weekend, but if you want to take that time because that's going to help you, clean out your inbox, that's fine. But just know that somebody may not respond until Monday, and that's totally acceptable. So, like you said, with that example, just again communicating effectively what those expectations are.
I thought they gave us Black Friday to clean out our inboxes. That's what it was all about.
I don't know. I think that's when people go a little bit rogue on their financial and decide to buy a lot of things for Christmas that day, or some tech things for themselves. Thank you guys so much for having me today. If anyone has any questions or would like to connect, my contact information is on this last slide. I loved being with you guys again today. And if anybody wants to connect on LinkedIn, feel free to add me on LinkedIn as well. So thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Dr. Hancock. That was really insightful, especially took me a while when I got out of college to learn about mindfulness and learn about some of the triggers I had, or just expectations, like what Scott was describing. I guess it was more on me. I put expectations on myself to be the best, do the best, just get it done. And sometimes I had to learn the balance between hey, what is really expected and what do I need? Do I need to do it a second, or do I need to do it? So this has always been a great topic, and really one that hits home for me. So I appreciate that. And thank you, everybody, for joining Leadership Live. If you guys need to send it to anyone, we'll send that email out, as well as the link in the recording. So thank you so much, and have a great holiday. And can't wait to hear another story of your next run. I know you've been doing a lot of these marathons, so those have been fun.
Yeah, I have London coming up in April, so I'm excited for that.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. You guys have a great one.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.